Hey folks, today we're going to talk about this property move to config deprecation, especially for freshness, which is where most folks are seeing this. Now, here I've got a source YAML file with some freshness configurations as we know it. I've got one on the source and one on the table itself, which overrides the one here, right? So if you do the source freshness, and then I'm going to pass in a no partial pass flag so we can see the warning that shows up. So the first thing we see here is, you will see this in your jobs as well. It says freshness as a top level property in raw will be moved into config, right? So this is what the example shows us. You basically have freshness here and we'll want to move that into config. So this is pretty straightforward, right? Instead of just having it as a top level, what we want to do is just go config and then all of this stuff, just tap one in. And then we can rerun this stuff. And then we basically get the same thing, right? So here I've got the failing freshness check here and the passing one. And here I've got the same stuff as well, right? So I've got failing one, and you can see that we ran source freshness as well, all by just moving it into this config stuff, and we no longer get the warning. So that's what this deprecation stuff is all about. Now, one of the benefits of moving it into config instead of just leaving that as top level is we can, if you imagine that you have configs all over the place, for example, let's say you have many YAML files in your subdirectories and stuff, you had to kind of paste this freshness stuff in all of the YAML files. By moving it into config, now we have the ability to set freshness in the DVD project YAML file, right? So this should be the default for all of our sources. I'm going to just delete this one so that it will show you that we can run 3 source freshness just by moving everything into the DVD project YAML file. There we go, right? So by moving stuff into config, we have the ability to no longer put it in kind of YAML files. And if you have many YAML files, you recall that you have to put freshness in all of them. Now we can specify the default at the higher level, and then, as we want to, go in and change them whenever we need to do that. So let's see if that would work. Can give us an error. And we did get the error that we expect. Okay, so the other thing to remember is that this loaded at field at this stage kind of still has to be on the source. But if you look at this kind of GitHub issue here, eventually we will be moving this into config as well, just not at this time of the recording, but sometime in the future that will happen. Thank you.